Letting number 8587, construct stage in Lindenwood Park. We have 4 bids. Ben-Hur Construction Company, BENHUR Construction Company. Total base bid $155,015. 155015.00. SBC Contracting Inc. SBC CONTRACTING Inc. Total base bid $104,385. 104,385.00. Rainier Construction LLC, RAINERI Construction LLC, $120,278.12. 120,278.12. Jackson Building Group, JACKSON Building Group, $181,642. 181,641.00. With a low bidder, please meet with Ms. Ben in the hallway. Thank you.
Hey, Betty, when you go up, will you give us a quiz thing? Hearing numbers 8178 and 8177. These hearings, 8177 and 8178, are being conducted pursuant to Section 26.100.030 of the Revised Code. The purpose of the hearings is to determine whether the conditional use permit issued to Ron and Teresa Bozic to occupy 2715 Dalton as a lead removal general contracting business and office site only, subject to certain conditions, and the permit issued to Ron Bozic to occupy the same address as the property management business should be revoked. The conditional use permit numbers are 115933 and 116564. Both home occupancy waivers have the same owner, identical conditions, and the same evidence. Therefore, the hearings today will be conducted simultaneously. The condition in question for both conditional use permits is as follows. Condition number 1D, no home occupation shall be permitted that results in outside storage or display of anything. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the Zoning Administrator has been presented, the Board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocations. Then the conditional use permit holder will be given an opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the Board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocations, if any. Your testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the Board, not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of the Board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on each of the hearings. The board will notify the conditional use holders of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit number 115933 issued to Ron and Teresa Bozics to occupy 2715 Dalton as a lead removal general contracting business and office site only, subject to conditions. Item 3, the conditional use permit number 116564 issued to Ronald Bozics to occupy 2715 Dalton as a property management business, subject to conditions. Items 4 and 5, letters dated May 5th, 2015, sent to the conditional use permit holders from the zoning inspector warning of the violations of the condition number 1D of the permits that was found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days. Item 6 and Item 7, memoranda from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that upon her reinvestigation performed on June 8, 2015, the zoning inspector still found a violation of condition number 1D of both permits. These memos include photographs and violations. Items 8 and 9, public notices for today's hearing. Items 10 and 11, certified letters sent to the conditional use permit holders from the board secretary providing notice of today's hearing. The board asks a representative from the office of the zoning administrator please come forward and be sworn in at this time.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. My name is Myra Turner. I am the zoning inspector for the city of St. Louis.
Can you please tell us about the possible violations of both conditional use permits?
Yes, sir. First, let me say I was just given, and I'm going to turn it over for evidence. I do need a copy. I was given from the license collector a document that says that the permit for RZL Investments LLC, that they were out of business effective February 4th of 2014. I still need a copy for my records, though. I was just given that. On each visit, they were out of compliance because they had some big pods on the driveway. And I am happy to say, as of today, they are no longer in violation.
So the issue at the time was that they had originally in 2010, I believe, when the permit was issued, there were no pods there. There were some pods that had been added between then and now. And your inspection today shows that they are gone.
They are gone.
So in your opinion, are they now in compliance with their conditional use
Yes,
permit?
they are.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I did have clarification question. What is the status of their business license?
Okay, they had two.
Okay.
The one that the license collector is saying is out of business is the RZL Investments, which was issued to Ronald Bozikas for a property. Let me make sure that it's right.
Take your time.
For a property management business.
Okay. Which is the hearing 8178, essentially pertinent to that, correct? Well, that's what, that is it.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So that the investment business would coincide with, right, the second of the two permits. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I need a copy of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who wishes to testify in support of the revocation? If so, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, the board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your name for the board, please?
Teresa Bozikis.
So it sounds like since the past notification, you have cleared up the violation and you've had the pods removed.
Correct.
And so Director Hayes had asked a question, which I'm interested in as well. We've issued a conditional use permit for a property management company, and by the fact that the license collector shows that this company is no longer in business, can you respond to that?
We closed the business with the license collector's office because we sold the property to which that pertained to. It held one particular investment property, and so once that was sold, we closed the LLC.
So are you no longer in need of the conditional use, the second one for the property management company?
Correct. We are no longer in need.
Right. So I think what I'd like to recommend on that one is that we would not do a revocation per se. I would like to recommend that the conditional use permit holder submit a letter to the Board of Public Service explaining that the business is no longer a business and you are no longer in need of a conditional use permit, and then we would approve that as opposed to going down in a file that it was revoked. I don't think that's correct.
I was under the assumption once I closed it with the city that it would go across the board to the other departments, but.
Right, and the conditional use is simply for that address for that business.
Okay.
So you could operate the business elsewhere, but as long as, you weren't going to operate it from that address in the city, there's no need to maintain that conditional use.
Excellent. So send that to Ms. Turner.
And I can talk to you more about the letter after the hearing, just where to send it and details.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And as far as, just to make sure we understand, as far as the first conditional use for the construction contracting business, I'm assuming you're still operating that business?
We are. The pods were never there to store building materials. Our house was actually hit by a tornado 2 years ago, and it had personal belongings in it, which I should have looked at my business license to see if that was in accordance with the business license or not.
And we can be assured that the pods won't come back?
Oh, they're gone. Not going through that again.
Any questions from the board? Okay.
I have pictures showing that they're gone, but I imagine that it's probably the same that Ms. Turner showed you.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Board have any further questions? Okay. Seeing none? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward at this time and oppose the revocation? If so, please come forward and be sworn in. Okay. Seeing none, the matter concerning hearing number 8177 and 8178 are now closed and submitted, and we'll discuss those after our regular agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Stokes.
Here.
Director Rundy.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Aye. Here,
Director Ross.
excuse me. Here.
Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here, we have a quorum. I'll call a meeting order.
From the President, recommendation that the bids be rejected for letting number 8585 airfield maintenance, the ISO tank, Lambert St. Louis International Airport.
PSA number 1162, architectural and engineering services for improvements to Tower Grove Park. Recommends approval. Supplemental agreement number 3 to PSA number 1125, weather forecasting services, City of St. Louis Street Department. Recommendation that the board declares as emergency action work for Lafayette Square bump outs, St. Louis, Missouri. From the President, Director of Public Utilities and Streets. Joint recommendation that permit for Metro to remove existing single-span bridge and limestone bridge abutments, construction of subsurface, substructure, superstructure, bridge approaches for Spruce Street Bridge over MetroLink tracks, remove and replace sidewalk and ADA ramps for the Spruce Street crosswalk be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as emergency action state elevator code violation associated with single bottom hydraulic jack cylinders. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. NADA, Inc., to consolidate land at 4956 and 4960 St. Louis Avenue in City Block 4493B. Recommendation that the Board declares as a denial 3126 Lucas Partners, LLC, to re-subdivide land at 3126 through 36 Locust in City Block 1021 West be denied violation of Board Order 720. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Shaw Neighborhood Association to install 37 replacement banners along Magnolia, Tower Grove, D. Tony, and South Grand within Ward 8. Central West End Business Community Improvement District to encroach with 20 directional parking signs to be located on existing light poles or individual signposts on North Euclid, Kings Highway, McPherson, Maryland, and Lindell. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that 11 festival zones be approved, subject to certain conditions as follows. Party on the Pestalozzi, September 12, 2015, at Pestalozzi from Missouri to McNair and Pestalozzi from Salina to Limp. Block Fest play date, September 12, 2015, at Hyde Park. Cafe Natasha Yumis Bar, September 15, 2015, at Wyoming at Grand towards Arkansas, ending at 3529 Wyoming. Atomic Dust, September 17, 2015, at Locust between Garrison and Cardinal. Chips, September 19, 2015, at Fall Street between North Market and Cottage. Chips and Streets Teresa and Saints Teresa and Bridget Church parking lot. South Grand Fall Festival, September 19, 2015, at South Grand from Juanita to Arsenal in Ritz Park. St. Louis Symphony Gala, September 19, 2015, at Delmar from North Grand to North Teresa and surrounding streets. Life in Color, September 19, 2015, at Old Rock House, Lafayette from 2nd through 3rd, Carol and 3rd from Lafayette to Marion. Fargo Fest, September 25, 2015, Stray Rescue at Pine between North 23rd and North Jefferson. Macklin Day, September 26, 2015, at Macklin Avenue between Devonshire and Nottingham. Outpouring in the Park, September 26, 2015, at Marcus between Martin Luther King Drive and Cope Brilliant. Now we have the conditional use.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. Per Board Order 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 5 applications: 6315 Winona, 1199 Riverview, 4705 Hampton, 1700 North 13th Street, and 7150 Manchester. I request these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Are there any questions on the conditional uses from the board? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Move to approve the conditional use permits is recommended.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for approval of recommendations. Can you read the roll, please?
Director Stobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Ross.
Aye.
Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, approved. I'd like to handle the hearing separately. And the first hearing, which would be 8177, was for the conditional use permit, 2715 Dalton for the lead removal general contracting business. And as noted by our zoning inspector, the violation of condition has been corrected as of today. Open the floor for discussion. Seeing no discussion, I'll take a motion, please.
Can I just ask, counsel, would the motion be to dismiss it as moot or to,
This one, we still need, oh, if you're not revoking it, I would just say your motion would be to not revoke it and dismiss the hearing, yeah.
all right. Well, I move that we not revoke it and that the hearing be dismissed.
I second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Can you read the roll, please?
Director Stobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Roth.
Aye.
Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, not revoked. Hearing number 8178 is evidenced by the fact that there is no longer a business at this location per the conditional use that was issued. I would like to recommend to the board that we also do not revoke this conditional use until such a time we dissolve it, that the business owner writes a letter to the board and asks to dissolve the conditional use. I don't think that revoking it is the proper action, as there's no violation to revoke it with. It's simply an adjustment of a business.
I move to not revoke and to dismiss the hearing pending further action between the permit holder and the building division. Or the Board of Public Service, I guess. That's right, it would be us.
Yes.
Second.
I would second that.
Okay.
Previous roll?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded not to revoke. The call for the use of previous role. Is there any objection to the use of previous role? Seeing none, not revoke. Turn your attention to our meeting minutes from August 25th, 2015. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? I would like to recommend that we make one correction on line item 288122, where it states that improvements to Lindenwood Park, that should read a new stage, not a new state, a new stage. If someone would make that motion, please.
I so move.
Okay. Is it a move to approve the minutes subject to the correction?
Yes.
Yes,
That was your motion?
that was my motion.
Okay, well, I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Can you read the roll, please?
Director Stobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Abstain.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Roth.
Aye.
Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, approved. Turn your attention to today's agenda. Are there any questions on the agenda, comments about the agenda? I also, again, have one comment. We had a letting today, and it was construct a stage in Lindenwood Park, so I'd like to make that change as well.
Move to accept the agenda with the correction on letting number 1, changing sage to stage.
Second.
Okay, moved. I have a second? Second. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Stobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Roth.
Aye.
Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.